What a long, strange trip it has been. For those that may get that reference. Been a while for Ryan and Glenn and I. Life is what happens when you have other plans, unfortunately. But as far as I know, we are all healthy. We're all here. We're raring to go. We're anxious to get chatting with you guys once again. We've got a lot to cover. We're going to try to hit a few different major talking points that surround the Arsenal Football Club. Glenn's over here getting high. What else is new? Let's get to it. How's it? Welcome back to Loose Cannons for the first time in about a month and a half. Ryan is already bored. I was going to say that Glenn is already high, but I think Glenn high. Just lives in a perpetual state of stone. Is it stone?
You know what? Happy fucking holidays to you too.
Hey man,
I'm kidding. I'm trying to promote the show while you talk. Go ahead.
It's been holidays haven't been terrible, but they've not been great. But that's not why people are here. For some reason, these idiots actually enjoy listening to us talk about the Arsenal, and so that's what we're going to do. Stony Enlightenment. Yes, BX, that's what we'll call. That's what we'll say about it. Stony Enlightenment. So briefly, fellas, let's catch up. How are we? Ryan?
Yeah, good. I mean, we're top of the league, so not really.
Exactly.
I'm sure Glenn will find something to complain about. Oh,
what?
I mean, spoiler alert, if you watch this video, he did find something to complain about, which we'll probably talk about. But yeah, no, everything's good. Excited to try my best to talk about as much as I can.
Yeah. Glenn?
Well, I wish I was angry because I know you guys like when I'm angry, but I'm so freaking happy. You know, the holidays, my freaking family didn't kill me for the holidays. I'm preparing for the first time to go to the UK on January 10th through the 16th.
Right.
Dudes, my stomach hurts because I'm so excited about it. It's so odd to now you guys I have met before now in person. There's like 10 people in the UK I friggin' adore, and I want to meet them all, at least shake their hands. So yeah, I'm in a really good mood. As Ryan said, Arsenal are top of the table. I don't look at the table till we play tomorrow.
Hang on a minute. What are the dates you're going over there?
January 10th to 16th. I'm hoping to see the Crystal Palace game.
You're not. It's the 20th.
Whatever fucking day I'm going there. Now I got to look it up. I know what days I'm going. I didn't fuck it up. Go talk amongst yourselves.
I'm very curious right now as to whether or not you got yourself stoned as shit, booked a trip, and you're going to the game, because it would not shock me at all.
I didn't do that. You know why I know I didn't do that? And you better just talk amongst yourselves, because we're supposed to be talking Arsenal, not how stupid I am. You guys talk Arsenal.
Can't it be both?
And well, I looked this up, all right, and I know some of you were rooting for me to have booked it wrong. Fuck you.
I'm absolutely not rooting for you to have booked it wrong, because that would really suck. Anyway, so yeah, we're top. Well, I guess technically we're not right now.
We are.
Liverpool are ahead of us by what, a point after yesterday?
What? No, we're ahead of them.
No. They've got 2 points.
Because they played, yeah.
They won, and now everybody's crowning them champions this year. At least everybody on my timeline.
To be honest with you, I've seen actually just the opposite in my socials. I've seen a lot of people just like it's turning out to be a 2-horse race. It really seems like no one has any faith in City to come back. I mean, if City lose today, they are 8 points off the pace.
You know, but you know what everybody's saying, and I can't look up that and talk to you guys at the same time, so you're gonna have to wait. You know it. Everybody says this, BG. I don't have to say it. You know, at the end of the season, they're going to be unbeatable. You know, I can laugh at them now, falling down the steps like a cartoon character, but no way.
Or like I did, breaking up a dog fight a couple of weeks
Oh,
ago.
ouch! Did you get bit?
No.
Last time I broke up a dog fight, I got bit. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but yeah, I mean, you know, City to me is a threat until they're not a threat, and
It's actually a really good way to put it.
so anyway, that's my 2 cents.
So,
Now I'm going to look about my trip. Talk.
I guess so, Ryan. Just overall, I mean, yeah, we're happy. We're up there. We win tomorrow. We go back top of the league. I want to ask you to speak specifically general about Arsenal and just kind of get us caught up on anything that you've seen, over the past, whatever, be it. I mean, there's a lot to talk about with the Aston Villa game and VAR there. I don't know that there's a lot to talk about with Liverpool with that game. I have a couple of thoughts on it, but nothing overly dramatic or negative. I don't really have anything negative at all about the team. Anyway, so take it away. It's been a little while. So
Yeah, no, I think the gap is getting a little further as opposed to last year. I guess to say is where we were last year, we were further ahead, but I think we weren't. The way we were playing wasn't sustainable, and Man City, you knew was going to turn it on. Whereas I think this year, I think we're playing better football. I think we're more defensive minded. We're keeping more clean sheets. We're letting less goals in, and I think City is just not what they've been. They're not that good this year. They look defeatable or beatable. Yeah, beatable is probably better. They look beatable. I mean, yeah, they do. There's some big injuries. KDB hasn't really been playing much for them. I think Rodri's been hurt and suspended. Um, I think someone who I've really liked on their team, Doku, he's been like okay for a couple games here and there, but overall not really leaving an impression that he wants to leave. And I don't really think their defense is really that amazing. I don't think Ederson. I don't want to throw around this word, but I think Ederson's a little bit more on the overrated side as far as goalkeepers in the world. But it's like Glenn said, it's Man City. They can turn it on whenever they want. So I'm waiting for it to happen. I'm not as worried. Last season, when they tied Nottingham Forest, I was like, okay. But since then, it was just like, okay, like I'm just waiting and waiting, and then what was it, 14, 15 games unbeaten in the season.
yeah.
Now I expect them to turn it up later on in the season, but I think when they turn it up, I don't think it's going to be like 14, 15 games. I mean, I think there's teams that are still going to like play at them, and I still think that they're going to draw some games. They're going to drop points even when they turn it up, which I think is good for us, especially on top of us, I think, playing better football. And I think we took a page out of the out of Pep's notebook, and just I think Arteta just learning from last season's experiences. But I hope we can also turn it up, because I think we're the best football. We're playing the best football right now in the Premier League.
I agree with everything he said. I really liked. I don't know who said it, but they said Arsenal is the best team that came to Liverpool this season. I want to ask you guys a question, or people in the comments. I don't put the comments on, so because I get too distracted. Did they move the Crystal Palace game in January? If anybody knows, because yeah, I'm going there, and there's no fucking game. So anyway, yeah, I agree with everything Ryan said. Yeah, and I will recover in just a moment. I'm going to be right back, guys. Okay, I just need a minute.
I also think too, on top of that, like, which I kind of didn't mention, is we have depth and we have different things that we could do, different players in different positions. Which, I mean, that's just, I don't think Man City really has that. You look at Man City's bench, I'm not really. Again, I know they have injuries, but I'm not as fussed by it as I was last season. And I really like a lot of players on our bench. The problem is, or I guess not the problem, I think the question is, does Arteta like the players, which is, I think, something that we'll talk about later on.
When I look back at last year and kind of try to compare the seasons, do you think that it's a good thing that we don't get too far ahead in the title race? Because I feel like maybe something else that may have happened last year was we had such a lead, and while City had games in hand to recover, some of those points, they didn't have enough games in hand at one point to overtake us if they'd have won all those games in hand. So I think I'm looking at it and I'm saying, I think if we stay close and Liverpool stay close, and if Villa want to stay up there and they want to keep pushing, I think that's a good thing, because I think it will keep our intensity level up. And I can look back at a lot of things last year and say this is why, we dropped points when we did. We couldn't maintain to the end of the season. I mean, injuries obviously played a massive role in that. But I think not having a gap, like having to go out every week, every match, and put in a shift and come away with all 3 points, I think keeps the intensity level up. I don't think I think seeing that we're our team, we're not going to fall away. We're going to keep trying to, match whatever it is that Liverpool and Aston Villa are doing, at that point, because right now, I mean, we're neck and neck. So look, man, when we started this, how many years ago was it? It's been what, 5 years we've been doing this, at least you and I anyway, Ryan.
Wow.
And all
I
of the
wouldn't think
things
that
that
long, but
we,
yeah, maybe.
I think it's been like 2018. Yeah, it's been 5 years, 2018. But we, the things that we talked about then to what we're talking about now, and it's fantastic. Ryan, am I moving on your screen? Because everything.
The screen's black, but I hear you.
My screen is black? Huh.
Yeah,
I'll be
it's
damned.
black.
I can't do anything. I am completely frozen. Glenn, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me? Good speech.
Yeah. Go. I think I need to. I can't do anything here. I think I need to relaunch my browser.
Okay. Yeah, you
know.
do that.
I don't know. Van.
I'll tell a quick story. It's very interesting for those of you that are paying attention. You just watched an old man's heart break in real time as I looked and realized that the game was on the 20th and I was leaving on the 16th, and it hurt like fuck. And then I blacked it out because I don't want you guys to see me upset. And now I'm back. This reminds me when I was on the radio years and years and years ago. My dog died the night before a show, and I had to get up at 3 a.m. And I had this dog. It was like forever. And I loved it. And I was just crying the minute I woke up to work. And I had to pretend that was Eagles here on RCN. And then I cut to commercial break. Oh! Just went through that now. But I'm better now. Hi, Ryan. How you doing, fucker?
Yeah, what's up? Congrats. Now you lost my train of thought. Not that you,
me? I mean,
not that you
I don't think that's ever happened. Yeah, but it sounds like we're all on the same page with Arsenal. I'm going to get back to Arsenal for people that I just bored to death. Yeah, I mean, to me, Ryan, it just feels like a different team. You guys were talking about last season, making some really great points, but I think we're on the same page for once. It's a different team this season. A lot of confidence. No?
Yeah, no, I agree. What I was going to say was before BG left, I kind of disagree with him in a little facet, in that I think if we had a 10, 20 point lead, I don't think our intensity would drop. I think Arteta is not that kind of manager. He's constantly playing strong lineups week in, week out, and I don't see us dropping. I don't see the intensity dropping. Now, tired legs,
yes,
that could be an issue. But I think, we've been through this already. We're doing the damn thing. We did the damn thing the last couple seasons. I don't think it's going to show as much. So hopefully, we could keep up with Man City, who are, they're going to turn it up. KDB is going to come back.
Mhm.
It's going to be very interesting to see what we do. It's also going to be very interesting to see what Liverpool and Villa do, because Liverpool's always been a team that hangs around and does what they do. I also, I'm a sucker. I love stats. I look at team stats, and Liverpool is over projecting all their stats. They shouldn't be doing this good, and they are. So stats and all that says that they're going to eventually drop off, and they're not going to finish where they are. But we have seen them finish where they are. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Liverpool does in the next couple of months, because I'm curious to see now with their injuries in the midfield, especially the makeshift midfield that they had against us. It's gonna be to see how they hang on. And Villa, I know Tanner. It was like Tanner's dark horse. He picked Villa to finish top four.
Oh, that's right.
I'm not convinced by them.
Me neither.
I just think they're the best of the rest. So like, yeah, will they be top four? Yeah, maybe. But I'm
No.
not. If I guess they wouldn't be top four, because it would be yeah, they could definitely be top four.
No.
But it's us, Liverpool, and Man City. I mean, it's really what it comes down to. And yeah, it's just gonna be to see how we put up with two different teams instead of just Man City.
You guys were talking earlier. I don't know if you mentioned it. I mentioned this in my video, which you can catch on Twitter and YouTube, called Clash of the Titans. I mentioned this on my video. Do you think Martinelli might need a rest? He just seems off to me.
I just don't. A rest. It's tough to say, especially in the world of football. I don't know if he needs a rest or if he's just not firing. If he's just got the yips, he's just he needs to kind of find his form. I really think we need to find a replacement for him. I think, or not a replacement. Excuse me. We need a backup for him, because there's nobody like him in our team. And I said this when we were going through a goal scoring drought for a few games. It was, what's missing? Martinelli. I think Martinelli is the bow for our attack. I think he offers a very uniqueness to our game.
I love him.
I think there's no one like him on our team. There's very few like him in the Premier League. And when he's not firing, we suffer more than, let's say, Osaka or Jesus aren't firing.
BG, I asked a question of Ryan that I asked in my video that I just released. Do you think Martinelli needs a rest? Do you see him being bullied off the ball a little bit?
I'm glad this is what I walked into, because this would have been kind of the.
I'm not saying I'll be upset if he keeps playing. To me, it looks like a guy that needs a rest, and I'd like to see Trossard get some starts.
I wouldn't hate him getting a rest. He's definitely off. And Ryan and I said this to Ryan the other night. It's like he's gripping the bat too tight. He's gripping the stick too tight. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
do. I know what you mean.
That's and so, against Liverpool, how many times easily there are 3 instances I can remember of him dribbling himself into trouble, whether it be into into a like a triple team, or basically to the end line, and he just runs out of room, and he boxes himself in, and he has nowhere to go, and he loses possession. He concedes possession. So that to me is a sign of someone who is he's trying too hard. He's trying to make it all happen on his own. I will say I'm very much of the mindset that, if you're a shooter in a slump, you got to keep shooting, because the only way you're going to come out of it is to shoot. I think he needs an easy one. I think he needs a tap in, if it's a cutback,
like Havertz when he broke out of his slump.
Yep. I mean, I think he's got to see the ball go in the net off his foot, and then I think he'll be all right. I want to say that I would like to. I would probably start Trossard tomorrow. If I'm being honest, I'd probably start Trossard.
Me too. I don't like agreeing with you guys so much. Can I ask one more question that I also asked in my video?
I don't agree. On. I don't think Trossard should start.
Okay.
Let me real quick. I don't
Trossard's not a winger.
Where do you see him at if he's not a winger?
Middle of the field. He shouldn't be. He shouldn't be.
So you would start.
I think he's just too old. I don't know if it's age or it's not how he plays. He's better when he's in the middle of the pitch. He's better when he's cutting in. He's not good on that. He's not good stretching the field. He's not good in width. I don't like him as Gabriel Martinelli's backup.
Real quick, Glenn. Real quick before you answer, would you start him since Havertz can't play tomorrow? Would you start him at the left 8?
Yes, I would. He's in good form. I would be comfortable with him there. Yes. Can I ask my question now? It's really simple, although you guys might argue. All right. I asked this in my video also. Zinchenko, are you guys worried that we can't win the Premier League without him? I think that's silly talk, but I wanted to, sometimes I think something's silly talk and it's serious. So I'd like to hear your opinions.
Wait, can't win the league?
Can we win the league with him at left back?
Ryan,
I've seen that question asked a few times, and it annoyed me a few times.
I don't think Zinchenko's as bad. I've been saying this, so I don't think Zinchenko's as bad as everyone's making him out to be. I think what he does with the ball going forward and attacking, I think is, I think he's the best left back in the world at it. Defensively, is he? I'm not saying he's a great defender. I'm not, but I think what he does with the ball in the midfield and just by playing left back is, just I think helps us it helps us in great heaps. And
how did you feel when Liverpool was targeting him and it was obvious they were targeting him?
Well,
and it was working.
I mean, Salah plays on the right. It's not, and Alexander-Arnold is on the right. Like, I don't think they were targeting him. It's just they were playing on their side of the field.
Really?
They like to play on the right side of the field.
Oh,
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're going to target Ben White or Zinchenko, yeah, I'm going to target Zinchenko. Like,
I really thought they were.
I don't think it's a knock on. I don't think it's a knock on Zinchenko as much as it's just a compliment to White. But like I said, I think Salah I know Salah and Arnold are on the right side of the pitch, so like that's where they're going to attack. But no, I just think I think it just this goes without saying for any player. I think now that we're playing so well, I think it's going to happen. I mean, the players, it's going to happen to only one or two players, whereas I feel like you could have said this about any player like 2 seasons ago, where like he makes one mistake and everyone, it's just everyone keeps talking about it. Whereas
it's not. Just
but he makes 10 good things. Like he'll do 10 good things and then he'll make one mistake. And
yes,
like, he's terrible. Get him out.
I agree with you. That happens a lot. I agree with you.
But I think he made a few mistakes against Liverpool. But I think he did a lot of really, really good things that nobody is talking about, which is like, I mean, it's going to happen because when you're playing as good of football as we are, you have to kind of nitpick the bad stuff because you want to almost, make it as perfect can be.
I'm dying to hear your opinion, BG. I finally figured out how to post that we're on. Okay,
yes,
go ahead.
Yes, we can win. We can absolutely win the league with him as the left back.
Okay.
Here's the problem.
Uh-oh.
It's risk reward with him. And against a team like Liverpool, and in fully understanding everything that Ryan just said is spot on. Mo Salah, Trent Alexander-Arnold on the right-hand side, that's where they want to play. That's where they want to create from. Zinchenko is not a great defender. And the risk versus the reward against Liverpool at Anfield, that's a situation where I would have started Kivior.
Oh,
instead of Zinchenko.
Sorry,
there.
I don't like him.
I think Kivior is a better defender. And I think that is one where you maybe take your foot off the gas a little bit and you say, I've got it's scouting 101. You're not always going to, I mean, even as great as Manchester City have been over the past how long, and especially in this most recent little run, they're what? They're 3-time defending champions, I think, treble winners last year. They had moments where their system didn't work, where what they wanted to do didn't work. What we want to do, it isn't always going to work. And so I think for Arteta, you have to look at the situation. And I've said this on this program before. I've said it with you guys before. Situational football. Situational football calls for a more defensive approach from your left back because of what Liverpool are going to want to try and do down the right-hand side. And they are world class, and they can do it. They can do it against damn near anyone in the world. And it's not to say that we're bad. It's what do we look at, especially with Zinchenko, and say, we can stop that, because we didn't.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I think so. That's the long answer. The short answer is yes, we can win the league. I think Arteta has to play. The best coaches in the world in any sport are aware of the situation at any given time. And they're already thinking 5 situations ahead to plan for it. So that's where Arteta needs to come in. It's like that for his substitutions, who he subs on and off, the timing in which he makes his substitutions, and the team sheet to start a match. I would have given Kiwior the start. I think he's a better defender. Okay. I don't think he does not bring any of what Zinchenko brings in the middle of the field. Against a team like Fulham, coming up here in a couple of games, tomorrow against West Ham, absolutely plays Zinchenko. Absolutely. I've seen people saying that if Timber and Tomiyasu were both healthy, they both start the game against Liverpool on Saturday. I'm not sure I buy into that 100%.
Oh my God, I've been dying to push back on Kiwior.
I think he doesn't bring any. Understand?
I understand.
The better player is Zinchenko. The better overall player is Zinchenko. If I'm defending and I'm looking at that and I'm saying I need to defend that, not try to beat it, because Liverpool are good. Anfield's a hard place to go and play, and they had possession of the ball. They were dangerous. I want to make sure I can be as stout in the back as possible.
I would take Zinchenko with 2 ankle sprains over Kiwior. I know. This is not something that we're gonna solve, because you rate Kiwior higher than I do. I don't want any on the job training for this dude when we're going for the Premier League title. And if you want to bring back gifts and nuts, candy and nuts, however that silly thing goes,
gifts and nuts or candy and nuts would all have a wonderful Christmas.
I try not to go to the ifs, because if I go to the ifs, I start thinking of how bad did Tierney not get the inverted fullback deal that he's gone when he's a much better defender than Zinchenko. But I'm not leaning on that. I just said that because you brought up all that other old shit. Okay.
I saw somebody say about like having Kieran Tierney and talking about how much we miss him and this and that. And I think he's played like 6 games all season. He's been hurt. So I love Kieran Tierney, and I wanted it to work out so badly for him. And he's a hell of a defender, but he doesn't fit this system.
I didn't mean to make this a Tierney debate, because then Ryan is going to break out his axe and turn into freaking Jason from Friday the 13th. So we're not talking about Tierney, okay, Ryan? Fuck Tierney.
Well, no,
he's gone. He's on loan, but he's gone.
I forgot all about Tierney until you mentioned him in the video. Until I heard him in the video, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right. We just had him." And I loved him. I wanted him to be captain. I thought the sky was the limit with him. But now I don't lose an ounce of sleep. I don't even think about it.
That reminds me, I had a moment like that a few weeks ago with Balogun. I was like, I wonder how that fucker's doing. Oh, hasn't scored in 7 games. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It is. I'll tell you what, man, like we sit here and of course it's the armchair, football manager, I guess, kind of thing where, in the summertime, we're looking at the guys that we're shipping out and we're talking about Kieran Tierney and, should Balogun stay versus Eddie and everything else. And it's just like you look at what these other players are doing and you think it's a good thing we're not in charge, because we would have screwed the pooch royally, because I'd have kept Kieran Tierney and I'd have kept Balogun.
And they both would have played a major part in our season right now.
No,
yeah, but who knows though? Under Arteta, they could have been good. We don't know. I don't want to rewrite history because we don't know what they're
doing. It's revisionist history, exactly.
It's my fault. It's my fault. I apologize to everybody who's just shaking their head.
No, this is Matt DeSouza makes this is a good point. And it counters what I said. If Zinchenko was that weak, then a team with one of the best right wingers in the world should have torn him a new one. Instead, 1-1 in defense held up. You're not wrong.
And according to stats, Salah had one of his worst games this season. Yeah. So,
well, he was also going up against one of the best defenses in the world.
I mean,
okay, Zinchenko's in that. Zinchenko's in that argument.
Yeah.
Best defenses in the world.
He's like that. He's like that kid that makes a picture and you hang it on the refrigerator.
I was listening.
I like Zinchenko. I like him.
I like what he brings. It's just that in big matches where, especially on the road, I just feel like, and maybe I'm full of shit. Maybe Kivior is not a better defender than Zinchenko. I think he is. I just think Zinchenko's a very, very poor defender, and I don't think that's his priority. He does look to get involved in the midfield and involved in the attack, and he gets hung out. If we lose possession, we're screwed. And it's kind of like that. I mean, I've seen it on both sides. I've seen both of our fullbacks, whether it be inverting or overlapping, where they're so far up the field, the only players back are Gabriel and William Saliba. And if we really get hit on the counter, I mean, Liverpool, by the way, if you didn't see it, for those of you who know who Jon Snow is and you watched Game of Thrones and you remember the Battle of the Bastards, when they're all charging Jon Snow and he just pulls his sword out and it's the shot from behind him with everybody coming at him, that's Declan Rice. Declan Rice is Jon Snow. He just pulled the sword out Saturday at Anfield and just, come on. And somehow, I mean, that should have been a goal. Should have been a goal. But, alas, it wasn't. Thank God. But it's I mean, Demsek, it's system not to play. I get that, but that's what. But Zinchenko for the Ukraine national team plays a midfield role. He's more comfortable, quite frankly, doing that than he is defending. So, anyway,
I don't want to go back and forth because I think I'm going to say this and we might go back and forth, but I'm going to keep it simple. If Kivior started instead of Zinchenko against Liverpool, I think the same result would have happened. I'll even go as far as to say we could have even lost. I don't think Kivior was the right move, but I'll just say that I get where you're coming from, but I just don't think Zinchenko's that bad defensively. I think he does a lot. I think it's like high risk, high reward.
It is. That's exactly right.
I do think Kivior is a good defender, but I just think Zinchenko offers so much more.
He does.
And I don't know. I genuinely think the game still would have been 1-1, or we would have lost had Kivior started.
I don't disagree with you. I will also counter everything that I've said with this point as well. The goal itself off of Salah's foot, that's world class. That is a world class goal from one of the best players on this planet. I mean, everyone knew what he was going to do, and he still did it, and he still scored. That's not on where Zinchenko, I think, was. I'm not even going to say he was at fault for the goal. I don't think he was.
Definitely gave him way too much room, but
he gave him way too much. I think if Zinchenko is going to make a defensive play in that moment, it had to come a lot sooner than anything that he did. He needed to basically try to stop the move, not even letting him get a shot away. But I
can just let me say this, okay? Because we're not going to convince each other because you guys rate Kivior higher than I do. When we were having our goalkeeper debate, Ramsdale, when he came back and he had that awful game, but we still won anyway. I made a joke in my video where I did his bloopers with Benny Hill music. I had twice as much footage of Zinchenko for this video, but I like him, so I didn't do it this time. You guys, it's not his play overall has been, kind of good and really shitty. So, and the thing is, and I said this in my video, Arteta, I love his drive, man. That guy, he just wants to win. And Zinchenko is fantastic in his position most of the time. They'll fucking figure it out, and let's just hope Zinchenko doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. In Zinchenko's favor this season is when we look at Tomiyasu, and the Timber thing is just, it's very unfortunate. Tomiyasu struggles with health. He struggles with availability and fitness. Zinchenko struggled with it last year, but he's been available, knock on wood. He's been available all season so far for us. So it's look, at the end of the day, it's a good debate. And it's not a matter of convincing me. I agree. I mean, Zinchenko brings infinitely more than Kivior does. He's a better overall player. I think and again, maybe Ryan's right. Maybe Kivior, if I'm managing and Kivior starts, maybe we lose 3-1.
I really honestly, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, BG. I honestly believe if Kivior started instead of Zinchenko, and I was all over Zinchenko's play, but if it was Kivior who started, I believe Liverpool would have got at least one more.
I mean, it's not. It certainly isn't outside the realm of possibilities. They're back up. They're a very good side, and I don't think they're going to be going away anytime soon. That being said, we look back at some of the games that we have played recently, the Luton Town match notwithstanding. I think the biggest problem facing this club, the biggest threat to our title challenge, will not be the biggest, how do I put this? The biggest threat, yes, Liverpool are going to be a threat. Yes, I think City are going to come back up. They'll be a threat. I don't think Aston Villa are going away anytime soon. But we need scoring. We have absolutely, and no one will tell me otherwise. I would not say that William Saliba or Gabriel are either of themselves the singular best center back in the world, but as a pairing, they are the best center back pairing in the world. And this is, it almost makes me giddy when I think of those two playing together, because it's one of those things. You guys are both hockey fans. It's like that shutdown defensive pairing.
Mm-hmm.
It's going back to like Ken Danico and Scott Stevens with the New Jersey Devils of the mid-90s. It's like I see those two and I'm just like, man, it's not even like watching them play. It's just like thinking about how good defensively they are. And I don't, when they're out there, I don't worry that much. We need to score. So do you agree with my statement that I think that is a threat to us winning the title, is our lack of ability to score? And can we and do we try to solve that problem in January? Glenn?
I think, excuse me, I think the key to winning the Premier League is addressing one of the positions where we need an insurance policy. For me, and January's coming up pretty damn quick. It's either midfield, because I think Partey is unreliable. I think if we get a good offer for him, we should just take it. If we get a halfway decent offer, we should take it. But midfield first for me, and I love Partey. I think our best midfield has Partey in it, but whatever. It hurts me. He used to be my favorite player. And the other thing is, do we have enough scoring? Well, if we address midfield, our defense and transition will be better. So, yeah, I think we have enough scoring. Yes, I do.
Ryan?
Yeah, I think also putting the ball in the back of the net, for being well, top 2 of the league, I think it's definitely a problem. I think we need to fix it. I don't think bringing in players is going to fix it, though. I think we could do it in-house. I think we need to do a few things that we haven't tried yet, or we have once or twice. But yeah, I don't think our priority in January should be a striker unless we can get in the guy. I can never say his name.
Tony?
Usaman.
Oh,
No, not Tony. The guy from Napoli.
Osimhen, Victor Osimhen.
Unless we're we're paying Declan Rice numbers to get a striker in. I don't think Tony's going to help us. I think what Tony does. I think we have in Havertz. To be fair, I like Trossard playing as the false nine as well. I like him. I like Havertz and Trossard over Eddie as a backup to Jesus. But I think we. I mean, if you be honest, I think our priority right now would be probably a midfielder. I know they said the priority is probably going to be defenseman, which I get, but I think
didn't hear
Tomiyasu is
that.
coming
I'm
back.
sorry. I groaned. I didn't know that. That's why I groaned.
I think Tomiyasu is coming back relatively soon. I know AFCON's a thing. I know the Asian Cup's a thing. I'm not counting on Timber being back this season. I know reports are saying he might come back in February. I don't believe a word of it.
Real quick on that note, for anybody that sees that he's training with the club, he's not. Every picture that I see this everywhere, every picture I have seen of him like training is from the summer. So don't fall for this. He's not training for fun. He was just in Rwanda on.
I don't know if people have watched the Minamina and Beth Mead documentary about how they're recovering from an ACL. It's a process.
Yes.
My sister tore her ACL senior year of high school playing field hockey, and like watching her try to get back and that whole thing. You essentially have to learn how to walk again, and then you have to learn how to run again.
Right.
And then on top of that, like your muscles just are not where they used to be athletically. So it's a process. I don't expect him to be back anytime soon. I think we have a lot of depth, but I don't know. I think the rumors of Kivior is leaving in the summer, and I kind of think that might happen just because of where we are, who we have, and I don't think Tomiyasu and Timber are going anywhere. Ben White, Tomiyasu, Zinchenko. There's just so many options. I don't really know where Kivior fits. I like Kivior. I really do. I just really don't know where he fits.
Why am I the only one on here?
Yeah, you are. So I don't really know.
If I were the only
I don't
one
really know
here.
where we could really improve. I don't really know where we could improve particularly, but apparently that's our priority because we want. I think what is it? We wanted a multi-talented left-sided center back. But I think our midfield definitely needs to be addressed. You have Elneny, who's probably going to retire at the end of this season or the next season. Jorginho is older than him. Partey needs to be sold. Should have been sold in the summer, and probably try to sell him in January, maybe in the summer. I think a center midfielder is probably something that we need the most.
So the midfield with AFCON and injuries is important, but I mean, we also have Emil Smith-Rowe in there who doesn't get. I do not, for the life of me, understand why he doesn't get a better look. I mean, he can't even get on here.
Just came back from injury.
I mean, but then you hear Arteta saying things like he looks great, he's training so well, and he really, he's been fighting really hard to get back from this injury, and he looks tremendous, and blah blah blah, and this and that. And he's on the bench, and maybe we need a little freshening up, and he can't buy a ticket to get onto the field at this point. And
I think it's interesting. I think Arteta earlier in the season was kind of in his interviews was kind of like challenging ESR, saying like he needs to do this, he needs to do that. He's progressing well, but and then just this latest injury had nothing to do with his surgery. He got hurt, which terrible time. When he was coming back from that, I think Arteta's tune kind of changed. Like, I love where he is. I love what he's doing. He's doing all the right things. He has been playing more. Not, he hasn't really had a lot of chances to, just based on the game state, but he has been playing more. He's getting picked. Because before, when he had the surgery and came back, he wasn't even getting picked, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, what's happening? Now he's back from this new injury. He's getting picked more. He's getting a look. I mean, I think he definitely starts when we play was it West Ham in the FA Cup? He's definitely gonna start then. I think he's definitely Liverpool. I'm thinking the League Cup against West Ham. I think he's definitely gonna get some. I could see us, if the game stays right, I think he's definitely gonna get some minutes against West Ham, and definitely Fulham. It's tough because at the end of the day, I think Arteta's of the mindset like the 11 is the 11 for a reason. Why am I going to change it? My 11 at minute 1 is still going to be my strongest 11 at minute 70. I don't think he fully believes that, but I think for him to make a change, I think something systematic or a player's really tired or hurt has to really happen. So I get it. I get if it's a close game, we need a goal like against Liverpool. I totally understand ESR not coming on. Totally get it. I didn't expect him to come on at all.
I didn't expect him to come on either.
But he's gonna. But I think when the game dictates it, he'll definitely get minutes. And I think he's slowly getting his footing on. And I think, and I'm biased. He's my favorite player in the team. So
he has a jersey.
But I think we have not seen the best of him yet. I really do.
Agree 100%.
I think he's going to be better than what we think. Problem is, he just needs to get the minutes. I
fear that when we get
plays.
Can I say something? You guys have been talking for like friggin' 30 minutes here, and cutting in and out. By the way, it was like some acid trip or something.
Acid, who knows?
No, I wouldn't do that. ESR. I just wanted to say I want to do that. I just wanted to give you a shout out, Ryan, because every time ESR is on the pitch, he looks like he has something to prove, and I love watching him play. That's all I wanted to say.
I fear that when we see the best of him,
it's doing that thing again. If you guys can hear me,
I can hear you just fine. So it's got to be something on your
end. On your end.
Yeah. All right. Do I have to log out?
Back out and come back in. See if maybe reloading the webpage, I'll bring you back in. Pop out, come back in. I fear that we're going to see the best of him in a different shirt. That's what I fear. And it's going to hurt my heart because he's one of my favorite players too. I'm always going to be partial to the players that come through the academy and put in their dues. Oh my God. Oh, Everton almost tied it. Oh my Lord. But that's what worries me is that we're going to see the best of him. It's just going to be, unfortunately, in a different shirt.
Who?
ESR.
Oh, that would be a big mistake.
I do think that we don't have enough scoring. We are not clinical. Back to my original question here. We're not clinical enough in the final third. And
I think it comes down to individual players. Like
that's what I mean.
Playing well, Martinelli's not playing well.
But is Bakayos? Let me ask you this: if we need a goal, Who are you looking to say go get it, and have the utmost confidence in them to do it?
With me, I have the utmost confidence in Jesus. And Nketiah, it's a little below that. But I'm not upset when Nketiah comes on. I like the kid a lot.
I mean, answer's got to be Saka. I don't think anyone else even comes close to him. I think that my next person who you guys are both going to disagree with, and Arteta would fucking laugh me out of the Emirates Stadium. I think would be Reece Nelson, because he's not afraid to take the game by the balls and just go at the game and just.
You're not going to get it. You're not getting a disagreement from me.
But he doesn't get a chance, so Arteta must see something that we don't see. I don't know. But
this is where I will disagree with both of you, in that I don't think we have that player.
You don't think Saka could score a goal out of nothing?
I think any of them could score a goal out of nothing.
Oh my God! Excuse me.
Have to create the goal. I don't know that. I just don't think that we don't have that player that can
I'm
just.
surprised you don't think Saka could do that. That's interesting.
All right,
we need a goal. We're down a goal, 80th minute. We're going forward and we need it. It's like, who am I going to give the ball to? I mean, look, it's I'll make a basketball reference. You need to hit one shot, and you've got Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson. Who do you want taking that shot? The answer to me is easy. But I don't see that we have that player in this side right now that I say
we have Jordan and Pippen
goal.
on the wings. I thought we were talking about strikers. We got Jordan and Pippen on the wing. Saka, Martinelli, that's easy for me. I'll take either one of them. 1A and 1B and 1A, however the fuck you say that. I thought we were talking about striker, and if we have enough depth. And that's how I addressed it. Hey, Jesus, I'm looking for him to fucking put it in the net.
Okay, I see where you're coming from with that. I don't think we need a world-class scorer in this team. And we have 3 players up front who are really, really, really good. None of them are world-class scorers. I don't think any of the 3 are world-class scorers.
I don't want to like blame Arteta and bring Arteta, but I also think it's just the system we play. Like the way Arteta wants us to play is
also part of it.
Every position has to do more than one thing. You give me a position you give me any position. Yeah, I'll even goalie. You give me any position on the field, I'll give you a secondary thing that they have to do other than play the primary position. So I don't know. That's why I want the guy from Napoli. I don't think anyone else is we're gonna bring anybody else in that could actually.
So let me ask.
But on top of that, the guy, he has a little bit of chaos in him and a little bit of does his own thing. Arteta doesn't like that. He hates that. So I don't know if he can exist with Arteta. I don't know.
BG, you asked the question, so let me just do a little add-on over there, okay? If we had a healthy Partey and his bones weren't made out of paper mache, there would be a lot more offensive chances for the guys up front. So that's all I wanted to say.
I think it's more for me. I think it's more of Ryan, you did kind of say this, but I think for me, it's more of the creating something out of nothing. Is there one player that we have that we can look at and say he's going to create something out of nothing? He has that ability. The 3 up front have the ability to do it. To Ryan's point about the secondary responsibilities, should we be looking for one player that your job is to score, period? You're a number 9. You're a traditional number 9. Go score goals. Track back a little bit. Play some defense up high. Press the ball up high when we're in defense. But other than that, I don't want you doing much else. Get into
that doesn't
space.
Exist in the Arsenal.
That's what I'm saying. So I agree that it's that part of it is system because Dempsek is saying it's system. You're saying and I agree with you. I agree wholeheartedly with you, and I agree that there may not be a player like okay. So Glenn, you'll appreciate this. I bought the new EAFC. It's not FIFA anymore. But I bought the new football.
Remind me to send you the correct sliders so it's realistic.
And I'm looking through. I'm looking through teams across Europe, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't know who that player is. Osimhen could be that guy that you just say, go bag me 30 goals. I think I really, honest to God, I think there's only one player in the world that can really do what it is that I'm thinking we need. And unfortunately, he plays for one of our biggest rivals.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I look at I'll say there might be one other player, and boy, people are going to hate me for saying this, but this is real talk. Real talk. As much as I hate him,
he's too old. I know you're gonna say.
I don't agree with that either, or disagree with that either. Harry Kane. He's got a knack for getting himself into a position and being able to fire home first time straight away. I mean, I just don't see anyone else in the world right now that can really do what it is that I think we need to really, because I think, honest to God, everybody healthy in this team as it stands right now, and we have our full complement of players. Thomas Partey isn't hurt. Urian Timber is back from injury. Tomiyasu, Fabio Vieira, everyone is 100% healthy and fit. I still think we're missing that one player.
I have to say this because if an alien came down here and heard us talking about Arsenal and what we think needs done, they'd be like, wow, this Arsenal team must not be too good right now. While you guys are talking, I looked up the Opta Power Rankings. I think I said that right, which lists the top clubs in the world. Manchester City is number 1. They rate them as the best club in the world. The next Premier League team, Arsenal, at number 6. So they rate So, with all these problems that we have, and these are legit problems we've been talking about, the funny part is we're ranked as the 6th best team in the world on that. And I'll find out the exact name of it in a second once you guys start talking.
I'm actually very curious. I'm looking this up. I want to see who the 4 teams between us are.
Can you hear me while I look on the other website? Can you hear me right now?
Yeah, I can hear you right now.
It's
Real
called
Madrid.
Opta,
I've got it right here.
Opta Analyst.
Manchester City, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Inter Milan, Arsenal. So Real Madrid, Bayern.
That'll make you feel good.
No, we're 5. We're 5 on this one.
Oh, number 5. Okay.
Yeah. So,
not too shabby.
and look, look, we're nitpicking here now, right, boys?
Right, exactly.
I mean, we're splitting hairs with what we need, but I'll tell you what, I really do think full complement of players. We're one of the best teams, if not the best team in the world. And I think one out and out number 9 with minimal responsibilities other than scoring a goal, that makes us the best team in the world. And I just feel like we're missing that one player, because I feel like I look at the Villa game, I look at the Liverpool game. Hell, I go back and I look at Nottingham Forest at the beginning of the season. I look at Fulham at the beginning of the season, and I say to myself, yes, we beat Forest. We drew Fulham, and that's more up here in defensive laps than anything else. But we should have beaten them by more than 2 goals. We should have scored multiple goals against Villa. We dominated that game.
We did. We absolutely dominated that game.
We had chances against Liverpool that we just couldn't take. If I had to back to my question about the one player that you would pick, one player you would look at to take that shot on it, I'll tell you who it is for me, and it's Martinelli. I see Martinelli as more of a scorer than I do anybody else on the side. I think he's the guy that has that pure goal scoring knack. He has it. He just got to find it. He doesn't have it right now, but you know what I mean. But I really think that's what we're missing. I mean, get some of these guys back healthy, and I'm not sure that Thomas Partey walks straight back into the starting 11 at this point. Full complement of players. I'm not sure. Are you really going to drop Havertz?
No,
you're not dropping Rice and Odegaard.
I agree with you.
I don't know that he walks.
I agree.
And I mean like fully fit. I'm not talking like, okay, he's 70% back. We want to work him. We want to work him back in it. No, I mean fully fit, ready to go, can play a full 90 minutes. I'm not sure he's that guy. And I said this at the beginning of the year, even before the season started. I think less is more with him. I think you're going to get what the shit happened there?
What did I do?
No, I'm watching. I have the City Everton game on.
Oh.
Anyway, I think less is more with Thomas Partey, in that the less he plays, the better he will play when he does. I don't think he should ever play a full 90 minutes. And I wouldn't play him more than 2 or 3 games in a row. I wouldn't start him more than 2 or 3 games in a row. But I don't know that he walks straight back into this thing. So
I don't believe when a player is 31, they've hit the wall. But a lot of times it does happen, and I think it's happened with Partey. I think he's hit the wall.
oh, excuse me. Sorry, guys.
Bless you.
I don't know that he's hit a wall. I think he's just injury prone. At 31 years old, I would think that Thomas Partey, given the position that he plays and the way that he plays, is in his prime. But he can't stay healthy. That's the biggest thing.
That's what I didn't use the right terminology. That's what I meant. He's just not going to stay healthy.
That and again goes back to the less you play him, the less likely he is to get injured. So don't play him all the time. We're right up on an hour here, fellas. We want to go into final thoughts and get out of here. Keep it nice and tidy today.
Yeah.
Glenn, I'm sure you've got to run in a few. So
yeah, let me go first and stay as long as I can. I'm really happy. I know if I look at the table, I'm going to see something different. But for me, we're top at Christmas, and I'm very happy. Especially with our injuries, et cetera, et cetera. The other thing I wanted to bring up, because I find this absolutely fascinating, and I hate that I was the center of it. But for those of you that tuned in late, I'm going to be in the UK from January 10th to the 16th. And when this show started, I thought it's the first time I'm ever going to the UK. When this show started, I thought, for the first time, I'm going to go to the Emirates and see Arsenal play live. And then I found out as I was looking on the phone and I'm on the camera, and this happened in the beginning of the show, I found out that I booked everything wrong. And my heart started breaking. And then I told everybody on the air, and then I had to go off because it hurt so fucking bad. And the minute I click off of this, I'm probably going to cry a little bit. But I'm looking forward to going anyway. This was a wonderful talk that kept my mind off of it for 45 minutes, but now it's creeping in again. So, guys, I'm not even going to stay for your final thoughts because I upset myself. I'll talk to you later. Look forward to seeing all my friends in the UK. You guys, I'm look forward to seeing you next week or whenever the next show is. Come on, you're going
to. I wish I knew how he actually got his. I don't know. That's crazy that it always cuts off.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, come on, you Gunners, second, then he's gone. It's like, come on, you Gun, done.
Has that kill switch.
Yeah, right. Anyway, final thought from you.
I mean, yeah, no, I'm happy where we are. Like you said, we're just nitpicking here. It wouldn't be fun if we all just agreed and talked about how we're the best team in the world. I really want to see him bring more players in. I want to see more players get more time so that when we need to turn it up in May or, the last few months of the season, we have like plan B, plan C in case injuries happen. I want to see ESR really come into his own, which based on what I'm saying, I think it could be a thing. I want to see, Tomiyasu come back healthy. And if we somehow keep Partey, I want to see him get back to that final form. Because at the end of the day, he has something that Declan Rice doesn't have. He just does. And I don't think he starts when he comes back right away, but it's just to have that option would just be great.
Yeah.
Someone, and someone like Reece Nelson, who I don't know. I'm assuming we just renewed him just so we could sell him for some money because Arteta doesn't trust him for whatever reason. I don't know why. He's came on and he's played very well for us. I mean, it's hard to forget about the Bournemouth game, but even taking that out, I just think he has that freedom and he's willing to grab the game by the horns and just do what he has to do. Not many players like that left. At least not in the top clubs because everyone's all about systems and all that stuff. So I don't really know about Reece. But I think he can be very important to this team. If we need to take a step up a notch. So I really want to see more players get game time. I don't know if it's going to happen. I do think ESR can kind of come into his own because just based on the way Arteta's talking, and I'd like to see the likes of Trossard and Havertz play back up to Gabriel Jesus and not Eddie. Not saying I don't like Eddie. I think Havertz and Trossard offer something that Eddie doesn't offer. I think Trossard's more of a mid player, and I just think Havertz would be a really nice. It's a change of pace. It's a different thing. I just want to see those things, going forward. And with this run of games, I think we could start to see it. So let's hope something like that can happen.
Yeah. Final thought for me, just glad to be back at it. Glad to be back here, chatting with you guys and hopefully getting back into, hopefully things will kind of settle down now for all of us. Kind of through the holidays here and now just, kind of pick back up and get back into it, full time. Obviously consistency is the key for us, but yeah, just, pretty happy with the way that we've been playing, on an Arsenal note. Pretty happy with the way we've been defending. I'll say that. I still think we are defensively the best team in the league from a statistical standpoint. But hopefully, keep that up. Reinforcements in January, which I'm sure we will be talking about the next time we reconvene this little party. We will have probably 2 games under our belts to chat about, and then I think we've got a pretty lengthy break, at least league wise. We've got a pretty lengthy break. So good to see you, my friend, and good to be back here chatting with you once again, and Glenn as well. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Bronx Gunner, Dempsec for being out there. Matthew DeSouza, Daniel Shaw jumped in there. The Red Pitch podcast. I feel like I've seen your name before. I'm not. I could be wrong though. But yeah, thank you guys all for being out there, for interacting with us. We greatly appreciate it. Please drop a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. I believe most of you have. If you're watching this back on replay, of course, we thank you for that as well. If you've made it this far, drop us a like. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. And on that note, we are going to get out of here. Ryan and I are not going to talk anymore after this because he's my bitter enemy after this show is over with hockey tonight. So Pens Islanders 7:30. Going to be a barn burner, or the Penguins are going to get 5 hung on them. So that's it for us, guys. As always, it's been good footy talk. We'll see you out there.